Hey. All right, so for those that are just tuning in, Dan is actually streaming to Facebook. So check Facebook if you want to see his matches. I am now streaming on both the Clickstuff YouTube and myself Twitch page. So if you want to see him, he is on Facebook. I thought he was going to stream to Clickstuff YouTube, so that's why there's a little bit of difference there, but he said go ahead and stream on here, so that's where I'm at. We are going to peek in at his game occasionally, just see how things are going. If you want to hear the commentary of what they're saying, check out the Facebook post. That is where he is streaming. What we are talking about currently is we are talking about Dr. Thing. And is Dr. Thing a thing? We went through Destroyer Prime, because Destroyer Prime just kind of changes the sideline game. And Destroyer Prime actually makes me think, like, this sideline thing is getting really bulky right now. We've just got a lot of sideline pieces. Whole lot of sideline pieces. And so that's why I was thinking, is Dr. Thing a thing? Is he good enough to be played? We just looked through Armor and Brute, which have some interesting pieces, but I don't think there's enough there. We are going to table Latveria for a hot second, and let's go over to Ruler. Because Ruler, great keyword. If you haven't looked at Ruler recently, you're very much missing out. Because it is by far much better than you think it is. So let's grab a bunch of how I do my team building. If this is your first time seeing me do some team builds, this is the Is It a Meta? Is Dr. Thing meta? I go through by keyword and pick out any pieces that I think are worthy enough to play on a team. Just period. And then I look through my whole list and say, oh yeah, these two mesh well, these three mesh well. That was kind of the goal. So we're looking at Dr. Thing. Right now we're looking at 2. We might take it to 1. We're always looking at 75 points, never 150, never worth it. What could we play with Dr. Thing? Because we also have to keep in mind Dr. Thing might be staying on the team. He may not be switching out, because if you lose map, then they could make you switch out Dooms first. So we have to play a team that 2 Dr. Things is viable. And if I make any comments on the chat, keep in mind I am streaming both to Twitch and YouTube, so I am talking to both. So if you don't see a comment on here, I will try the best to see both. Let's see, DBZ 300-point scenario: Mind versus Muscles. Build to teams, one with mind control characters and one with super strength. Who would you choose for each team? Ooh, that's tricky. I don't really know what super strength pieces are out there right now. But obviously you would probably want to pick Hulks that have Battle Fury, because if that's almost unfair, because you could just choose teams with a full of Battle Fury, and then your mind control characters can't do anything to them. So choose super strength pieces with Battle Fury, and then mind control pieces that hopefully have some Pen Psi or something built into them, so that way they're not only mind controlling. So for Dr. Thing, as much as I want Mastermind to be a thing, right now he's not, but I will put him on the list out of solidarity because I miss him and hope he comes back. This is Hela. Now, Hela's mission points, I'm not going to ever build Dr. Thing as mission points. I am going to be doing a live stream to talk about mission points. I was going to have PJ on, but he got busy with family stuff, so he couldn't make it tonight. But we are going to go do a deep dive into some mission point teams to see if there's some that actually are viable, and there are some. Now, I am not going to talk about Hela and her OP broken team, which is her, a ton of Friends of Humanity, and Cannonball or Venom or whoever you want to damage all the Friends of Humanity and kill them all. That's a broken team. They're probably going to fix that. If they don't fix it, it'll kind of be unruly for a little bit until they rotate. I'm hoping they fix her by saying that the standard character has to be a minimum point value. I think that would be fine. I don't want it to be whenever a standard opposing character is KO'd for Hela. and I'll mention this on the podcast as well. I hope it, because I like the idea of Hela with Blackheart, so that way you're kind of gaining some points during killing of the Hellfire Guards. So, but who knows? So, not going to put Hela on there. She's great, but not really a Dr. Thing. Malekith, no. Thor and Loki, check out my other stream. Thor and Loki, just, it isn't meta right now. T'Chaka. So T'Chaka's a little surprising. He's actually pretty legit if you haven't seen T'Chaka. Gives you a leadership. Once per turn, when an opposing character within range makes an attack after all rerolls and die replacements, you may roll a d6 to track the result before finalizing the attack roll. And a decent attacker. For 45 points, I don't hate it. We'll put him on there. Ultron Pym. I'll put Ultron Pym on there. Obviously, I can't play the both of these. But we'll put, once again, this is just a list. Venom Magneto, 100%. He's probably by far going on the list. Reed Richards Alpha, not quite there, unfortunately. None of these other Dooms are. We've mentioned this before on the podcast, that, and if not, we will tonight. Legacy Thanos with the Dooms is the deal. Mike Eskew won a Texas tournament for it. So definitely something to consider. And let's see, have they started yet? It looks like they're switching stuff out. Yeah, they're doing their switchies at the beginning. Definitely going to be an interesting game. And once again, I'm going to pop in and out just to take a look at it. Keep you guys updated since you chose to be with me tonight. And I appreciate that. Please feel free to like us on like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. Please go ahead and like and follow. I don't know. I'm not good at this. Follow me on Twitch also, so that way I could get up to partner at some point. Hey, do you read Twitch or YouTube chat more? I actually have it to where I can read both. So both of them come in at the same time. So I can read both. The best part of technology. I can actually read them both at the same time. I was only reading Twitch for a bit because I wasn't streaming to YouTube, but now that I know Dan is on Facebook, I'm streaming to YouTube. DBZ, I'll get to your question in just a second. Let me get through a few more of these. Blackheart, I think, makes the list. Blackhearts are good. Emperor Gladiator, not 50 point. 100 point. I'm actually, that might be part of it for sure. Because Dr. Thing... Oh, I haven't thought about that. So this list, Forrest, is we're trying to see if Dr. Thing could be meta, because right now, this is my Is It a Meta series, where we're going through some fringe pieces to see if they're good enough to be meta. And so Dr. Thing, we're going through Ruler currently, the Ruler keyword. I know Latveria is out there. We will get to Latveria. But we are going through Ruler now to see if there's a legitimate Ruler team that would be good. And I just had an epiphany that I think works. I like Emperor Gladiator. I've played him multiple times. Did really well at the Clickstuff Classic with Emperor Gladiator. I had not thought about Emperor Gladiator and Dr. Thing together and using Emperor Gladiator's Mastermind to Dr. Thing, because Dr. Thing does have Invincible. Dr. Thing takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks. So you Mastermind to Dr. Thing and it is a ranged attack. He's only taken 1. And then after, place Dr. on your turn, free, place Dr. Thing adjacent to an opposing character that attacked him. That's actually really good. Like, I actually really like that. Oops. We're on to something here. We're cooking now. I don't know if I really care about the rest of these pieces, because I think Emperor Gladiator's it. But we do have access to 2x2 Proteus and Magneto. I don't think Mastermind works that way, so it does. They are now the target of the attack. So when you mastermind to someone, they become the target. Mastermind to Dr. Thing wouldn't be a close or ranged attack. Yeah, it would. It would be whatever attack they're using on Emperor Gladiator, because you're masterminding it. So they're now the target of the attack. And I'll pull it up. HC, Hero Clicks, rules. Let's pull up the pack. Because you may be right. Let me double check this Mastermind real quick. Mastermind. When this character would be hit by an opponent's attack that deals damage, you may choose an adjacent friendly character that wouldn't be hit by this attack, and that has less points or shares a keyword. That friendly character instead becomes a hit target of the attack, even if it's already an attack. So they are now the target, and so they are taking that attack, whether it's close or ranged. You mentioned earlier that you can force swap before Dr. T goes off. Doesn't he trigger earlier, though? Yeah, so force, it will be either whatever the attack is, that is what Dr. Thing takes. So if you close punch Gladiator and he masterminds it to Dr. Thing's taking a close attack, so he'll take whatever he takes. But if you're shooting Gladiator and you mastermind it to Dr. Thing and it's ranged, he's taking damage from a ranged attack, so he only takes one. You certainly know more than I, so take what I say with a grain of salt. No, absolutely question me on everything. I am a rock judge for whatever it's worth. I've judged a lot of events, but I have been known to make mistakes at times. Everyone's human. And I mean, I was just making a mistake with the Destroyer earlier that Hypertime Hero corrected me on because I just couldn't read. My mind goes places. So to get back to Lord Arceus's question, Arceus, you mentioned earlier you can force swap before Dr. T goes off. Doesn't he trigger earlier, though? So yes and no. So he triggers, and this is when revealing forces, choose an opposing sideline game element. If Dr. Thing is on his starting click, the chosen character can't be brought into the game. No, you're fine, Forrest. So that's the trick right there. If Dr. Thing is on his starting click. So if you switch Dr. Thing out, he is no longer on his starting click, so that now leads them able to bring in whoever they were going to bring in. So if I'm going against an X-Men team and they say, you have to do many faces of doom, and say, you got to switch. Well, if I switch Dr. Thing out, they now could bring that person in when it gets to their turn to activate their beginning of game and their switch out. Don't worry about it. Oh, I can't read. It's fine. So what you can do is you say, okay, they say activate many faces of doom, and you could say, okay, I'm just going to keep Dr. Thing on the field. And so if you do, you still get to say, okay, you can't bring in Jubilee, you can't bring in Chase Widow, you can't bring in Dark Phoenix, you can't bring in Prime Destroyer. Like, that's why I want to see if Dr. Thing is a thing. Now, 2 may not be a thing, but the cool thing is you could switch out to some of the other Dooms, and that's fine, right? So, so looking at all these, we have access to Prime Storm, which is great. Magneto, Proteus. Let's put Proteus on there. Let's put Prime Magneto, or 2x2 Magneto. I don't care about Wingard. I don't think I'm trying to force that onto this team. We got Scarab, which is good. Gorilla Grodd, if we need to stack. Gorilla Grodd's great if we want to stack up some things. That's fantastic, actually. So, let's go ahead and build this ruler team. So I'm taking off Master Mold. He was only on there because my heart goes out to Master Mold, and I hope the meta gets back to a point to where he's good. I'm taking off the two primes because I'm not interested in them because I want to build with Emperor Gladiator. That means Blackheart's got to go because there's just not enough points. That means Magneto and Scarab's got to go. And let's just take off the 2 Grods for now. And the Proteus. Let's just take all those off for a sec. And let's just look at this team. Master Mold is awesome. I agree, DBZ. I wish the meta was in a better place, but it's so alpha strike that he just dies. He just gets obliterated, unfortunately. Quick check-in on Dan and them. I see some Fantastic Fours. See them all up. See some rolls. Dance rolled an 11, a 5. Sorry, I'm not listening to the game, so I can't tell you how it's going. But they're in the fray now. He's not tied up. He's got these guys pretty safe. Emperor Gladiator is pretty safe. I am drinking something very boring, so don't get excited, DBZ. This is literally just tea. So for those that don't know, I used to be a lot heavier, like 230, 235. And in the past 6 months, I've lost a lot of weight, like 40 to 50 pounds. I'm down to 176, 177. And I've done that mostly by taking a lot of protein, watching my calories, and drinking a lot less thing. But watching calories is what's really turned me different, because I just noticed, this burger I was having at Wendy's is a ridiculous amount of calories. So I've been eating healthier because I eat things with less calories that aren't hollow calories. So a lot more chicken, turkey, and stuff. And so if you just raise your protein, lower your calorie intake, it's all calorie intake. This is turning into a health and fitness thing. So this is unsweet tea, incredibly boring. But it is not water, and it has no calories in it. So, to each their own. Do you think Ymir or Surtur can make your list on their new Legacy 25 points? On this team, as is, no. Double Doctor Things, no. That's too many points. But we're going to build double Doctor Things first, and then I'm going to take it down to one Doctor Thing. Because I think you could probably get by with just one. So to complete this team, I would probably give, you need one object for Emperor Gladiator, and so that would be one of the gems, so Power Gem, Reality Gem, and then a ring, so probably the one that gets through hindering, or you give him the, I like the location bonus. But that doesn't feel good. +4 doesn't feel good. So, double Doctor Things. How many points is this team? This team is, sorry, if you can't see it. Yeah, no, it's kind of small. 285. We're at 285. So, I'm already right off the bat looking at this, because I think the Ruler Doctor Thing team is great. The idea of Emperor Gladiator going to Doctor Thing, that lights some lights for me, rings some bells. Emotional modifier for mind control. Yeah, the Thanos scare. That's a good point. So this is kind of telling me, and you guys chime in if you feel the same way. This is kind of ringing some bells. It makes me think maybe double Doctor Thing isn't a thing. Because I think on a lot of switch-out teams, just taking away one piece you don't want to see is a big deal. And then taking out Destroyer Prime is a big deal. Like, against X-Men, taking out either Emperor Gladiator or Jubilee is big. Taking out Blackheart or Wingard or a Dark Phoenix is big. Taking out Title Wonder Woman or any of the other... It's a lot harder with Avengers because the team is kind of meh right now. But, so I think we could drop it down to one Doctor Thing, and I think I'd be okay with that. What do you guys think? Just one Doctor Thing? I think trying to do two with Emperor Gladiator is a little too expensive. And right now, I'm really, really vibing on this whole Emperor Gladiator masterminding to Doctor Thing for only one damage, potentially. And then Doctor Thing booping over. Because that's the thing with his movement power. Free, place Doctor Thing adjacent to an opposing character that attacked Doctor Thing. Well, you were just going to be ignoring Doctor Thing. Now, he's hitting 12 for 4, but you're just going to ignore him because he's only sidestep Plasticity. But if you mastermind to him, you can't. Guys, I'm loving this now. I'm loving this. I'm taking it down to one Doctor Thing. Just one. Because that opens up a lot more points and could get us up to probably our 6 or 7. So if I'm looking at this team, and I'm saying, all right, I've got my Emperor Gladiator. I've got my Doctor Thing that Emperor Gladiator is going to carry around. Best buds. I think if you're going to use Doctor Thing, you consider going with Blackheart over Gladiator. That is true. You could Mastermind to him, too, right? Doesn't he also have Mastermind? Yeah, he has the stop-click Mastermind. But you're most likely Masterminding to the Hellfire Club people. I think Emperor Gladiator is a threat. Oh, and you can also give Dr. Thing the emotional modifier. I love that, too. Because he would love to have Battle Fury. Guys, this is great. Once again, thank you. Who said who suggested the emo modi for me? Where are you? Forrest. Yes, Forrest. Thank you again for reminding me about emotional modifier. I like that on Dr. Thing a lot. And then I think for Emperor Gladiator, you pack 2 items for him. Probably we'll say, let's just go ahead and do a let's go ahead and do Power Gem for him. Yeah, sorry. I'm going up my list to find you. Power Gem for him, but I also want to pack for a 3rd one, the Spectral Ring. Where is it? Spectral? Not Spectral. Daimonic. There's a lot of stealth out there. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Archaeos. Yes, Daimonic's what I wanted, not Spectral. I don't care about Precision Strike. All right. So we're fully equipped. You can get both people equipped to turn 1. So that's fine. Now we've got 65 points. I've been toying with an idea, unrelated thought as I have to head out in a minute. I've been toying with an idea revolving around a monster-themed team using Venom Wolverine. You need to look at the Coffee and Clicks guy, the Coffee and Clicks tournament. We posted the top builds out there. Azareth has, I think it's Monster. Is it Monster? Now I'm going to look real quick on my other screen, just so I'm not a dummy if I'm wrong. I think he has a monster build with that in it. With Venom Wolverine. Let me look. Azareth is monster with Venom Wolverine. It's, since she can attack with 2 tokens, turn 1 equip, turn 2 TK Venom Mags free, then have him carry across people using Passenger 4 to get free Wolverine clips for a free attack. Yes, he is using Venom Wolverine, Blackheart, Sky Tyrant, Venom Magneto, the Commissioner, and Proteus at 20 points. With Power Gem and Remaker. He beat Tyler on Tuesday to make it the top 8. That is on the Coffee and Clicks Facebook page. Check it out. His build is out there. Monster +6 with Venom Wolverine. Hope I could catch your stream again in the future. It was very enjoyable. Thanks for joining, Forrest. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to do this every Thursday. If not, maybe a different day of the week if it doesn't work out. Real quick, let's chime in, see how it's going over here. Looks like nothing has died yet. A lot of rolls. A lot of... Ooh, these last rolls are not going good. But he's got... These are a ton of rolls. That's literally the exact build I was theorizing with. Doggo's dead. First strike. First blood. Nate has lost Lockjaw. That's big. That's big, big, big. Yeah, Forrest, definitely check out Azareth's build. It is pretty potent. All right, back to Dr. Thing. We have got 65 points to work with. I'm thinking this is mostly going to be filler. Because I think Dr. Thing and Emperor Gladiator could do a lot on their own. And I think that, once again, we don't have to stick with Dr. Thing. Against some matchups, we can switch to Doom. We can switch to Lord Doom. We could switch to some of these others. So let's look at Ruler again, and let's look at some of our fluff pieces. Let's say less than 40. I don't really want to play with a lot of pieces higher than 40. We are looking primarily at that. Some flex pieces to bring in. Deadpool only works with Monster. So no. Yeah, I think we're mostly looking at these guys here. I think we're looking at Gorilla Grods, some Protei, a Magneto or 2. I don't know if Magneto's really necessary. We might just fill. Do we just fill in with some Like we just do, let's do a So we got 30 more because we'll do 5 points for Latveria Village. Venom is monster. Right. Yes, that is correct. The main man, Dano 212. Oh, you're right. Yeah. You're right. He is monster. So, but I don't think I'm ever going to attack with him, I think is the thing. And this is just something you stick on your sideline. And it's 75 points or more. So that wouldn't work with Venom Magneto, unfortunately. So I think we just build with a bunch of Proteus. Is that crazy? Like a Proteus and maybe a Grodd? Because the Empower doesn't really help us necessarily. It helps with Dr. Thing, but you're probably not getting it up there. And these Proteus have at least super senses. So this now is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 9. And then we have a location bonus, which for Emperor Gladiator, I prefer the location bonus. Is it in here? Where is it? Is it under the Cosmic Clash? It's Cosmic Clash. No, it's not. Where is it? Latveria Village. Here is it. I prefer Latverian Village. Because then you could give Mastermind to Dr. Thing if you wanted, and then, or Venom Magneto, whichever one. And then you have peasants everywhere that you can Mastermind to, which is great. I actually really like this team. I might actually play this team sometime. Why not Master Mold, says Austin Murray. Proteus has been errata with just one marker thing. Yeah, I know. It's only one marker. I'm not too worried about barrier. And it's one per action for all characters with his trait. So it's not like all of them can make one, but I have 1, 2, 3 actions. 4 if I move one of the Proteus around. So, and the free TK I think might count. So I'll have enough to barrier in my guys. But Austin Murray, why not Master Mold? I kind of like the plus 9. Master Mold is just too flimsy right now. He's probably better on a robot team. But losing 3 Proteuses, or a Grodd and 2 Proteuses, Protei, that takes me down to a 6. And with this team wanting Dr. Thing on my team, I want to win. So that way I could still switch Dr. Thing out if I wanted to. Because hopefully I go first and I say, you've got to... I'm going to do my Dr. Thing. So if I'm going first, I say I'm going to resolve his... his revealing forces happens before beginning a game. So I say you can't do that. You've got to do your switch out first. So that way I know you're not using him. And then when I see what you're switching to, I either keep Dr. Thing or I switch to Doom, Lord Doom, whoever. Guys, I actually really like this team. Like, for real, for real. I've always been a fan of Emperor Gladiator. I've always loved the Dooms. I've played them together multiple times. I usually went with Annihilating Conqueror to get some of the things, but Venom Magneto opens the door to a lot of things. DBZ, let's see, he said, my team, 300 points, Ruler, Apocalypse, this is your Ruler team. 19 Storm, that one's solid. Black Leopard's good. Magneto's good. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Apocalypse is a little interesting, but what is the jest of Dr. Thing? What do you mean the jest? Like what's wrong with him? What's good about him? Why I'm trying to build with him? Because the thing with him is completely expected and planned for when revealing forces choose an opposing sideline game element. If Dr. Thing is on a starting click, the chosen sideline game element can't be brought into the game. So that means you can completely nerf sideline switch out teams. What's the gist? Oh, gotcha. Thank you, Austin Murray, for clarifying. Yeah, his main thing is there's so much switch out that I was leaning towards seeing how to make Dr. Thing work anyway. Then we got this Destroyer Prime in War of the Realms. And that's even spookier, because now teams that don't play a Prime are probably playing the Destroyer on the sideline. And the Destroyer hits like a tank. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, how can I stop the Destroyer from coming in? Because he actually, if you're playing a tentpole team with someone equipped, it's no longer a tentpole team. You're now playing someone that's hard to kill, and you bring in Destroyer, who is very hard to kill. So that's why I'm interested in how can I not allow Destroyer to happen. Because Destroyer is probably going on every single Thanos team out there. Unless Thanos is playing a Prime, which he doesn't need to. And I'm talking Legacy Thanos, for those that don't know. But yeah, I am... I'm leaning towards... I think right now, this ruler team... And we'll go into Latveria and Avengers here in a second. But I actually really, really like this team. Now, the last, like, Gorilla Grodd, you could take him off if you want. I think he's sneaky. Because you could go to some place, have him in hindering, and when he boops up, he could do stuff. So I think having one instead of a Proteus is fine. These Proteus, remember, they don't do any damage. They don't do any damage with their retail. But they can heal. If they hit their super senses, which is pretty big. They still don't do much damage if they heal, I don't think. But granting someone immobile is pretty good. Surprisingly good. Let's see, did they do any damage? Yeah, they go up to 1. Woo! 1 damage. Hold the phone. But what this team does for me is you most likely equip Power Gem. Jalen. Hey, Jalen. Why Daimonic? Stealth is a big thing right now. That's why I like it. It's Emperor Gladiator's biggest weakness is stealth. When I'm playing Avengers, I go to it's a buff stealth team because I know you're gonna struggle getting up there to you have to get someone next to me to outwit me or something. Stealth is very strong right now because there's not a lot of hindering stealth busters. Not a ton. They exist, but there's just not a ton. So I think I like playing it safe just to give Gladiator, because if I'm going against stealth, then I don't mind taking the hit of not having as much damage without power and just giving him Daimonic so he can hit things. Because also keep in mind, if you shoot through blocking terrain and they have stealth, I mean, you're still not doing much if they're in hindering. I mean, you just can't get to them. And this might be PTSD from playing Dan so much when he was playing Bat Doom. It might be a little PTSD. Because most of his team copies Batman, and I just could never hit any of them. So a little PTSD there. But I think it's worthy of 5 points. I mean, I don't know what I put 5 points else into. I don't hate this team. Mind Control gets this team. Love the build and probably the best I've seen, but Mind Control's a killer. That's where you're wrong, my friend. We have Emotional Modifier. Woohoo! Characters within 4 squares of line of fire can use Battle Fury. Okay. And you can Mind Control my Proteus. That's fine. I mean, they literally don't do anything to each other. They don't do anything. Because that whole immobile thing is only when they're using their retail. Yeah, within 4. Yeah. So my main 4, Dr. Thing, Venom, Magneto, Emperor Gladiator, and I guess a Gorilla Grodd, they're always going to be traveling together for the most part. Like, I could use Venom Magneto to TK up. But he can also just carry everybody. And so if he carries everyone up, Dr. Thing activates the emotional modifier. He can get everybody with it. Like all of my people with it. If you get Proteus, once again, I don't care if you have Proteus and you mind control him. He literally can do nothing to nobody. Nothing to nobody? I don't think that's right. Eel no side. Yes, stealth is great now. I have been keeping Chase Krakoa in my X-Men sideline and getting my Prime Mimic to copy stealth. He's been doing wonders for my team. Chase Krakoa, man, that is a piece I feel like, man, I just wish someone solved. You know, I wish someone solved it. Thanos kills 10 anyway. I don't know what you mean by killed 10. Once again, I will say this multiple times. Emotional modifier is not a solve. It's not a hard counter to Thanos by any means. But it is enough to slow him down, I think. Because it's his mind control that's annoying. Hard counters are things like shifting Black Widow. Kills 10 anywhere. Yeah, and so he could come up and start popping Proteus. Now, the problem is he does not want to get retailed on. He cannot target all of them. And I'm not going to put all of them next to each other to get alchemical fired. So if he attacks anyone and then gets hit by a Proteus, he's now immobile, which is very bad for him because he does not want to be immobile. He wants to be bippity-boppity-booping and all over the map. So I'm not saying this is great for a Thanos matchup, but it's not bad. Dr. Thing, take away your Destroyer. And then I debate whether I keep Dr. Thing. Because I probably win map. He has to be played to keep Destroyer off. I get that. I probably keep him, actually. Because you know what? 11 for 4 ain't bad. And you're never damaging Emperor Gladiator. Because I'm either mind controlling to a peasant, if I have it. Not mind controlling, sorry. Masterminding to a peasant. Or I'm masterminding to Dr. Thing, and Dr. Thing only takes 1. And then he comes over and smacks you 11 for 4. And he has plasticity, so you're going to have to waste your phasing to get away. Not saying it's foolproof, but this is is it meta? This is a session where we talk about fringe pieces and could they make a meta team? And I am firmly saying yes. Let's check in over at the Coffee and Clicks tournament. Where are we at? Ooh. Nate has gone into the lead. Dan has lost a Black Vulcan and 1776. So that is 60, 70 points. I forget how many points Black Vulcan is. So it's like 60 or 70 to 30. How much is Black Vulcan? He's like 20, right? I didn't make that up. $25. Ooh, that's even worse. So 75 to 30. Emperor Gladiator is doubled up. But we don't know how much damage is on everything. I'm not going to touch anything on the board. I don't want to have a chance of doing anything. So, don't want to touch anything on the board. But right now, Dan is down. They started a little bit ago, so they still got a decent amount of time left. So, I wouldn't panic yet. By any means. Because there's still a lot on Nate's team that can die. Alright, so before we move on to Latveria, I'm going to take a picture of this because I like taking pictures of my builds. Until I get my dream team builder built, I have to do this. So taking a picture. Ta-da! It's my new team build. I might actually play this in like a broadcast event or something. So I'm automatically saying, like, we have solved... Well, somewhat solved. Is it a meta? I would say right now, yes. I think Dr. Thing is perfectly fine. But let's build him with Latveria, and we're going to transition this into a Avengers switch out recap. So if you haven't followed my Avenger team before, this gobbledygook mess here is not Thanos. Goodbye, Thanos. This mess here is what I played before. I need to play more online tournaments. Yes. And Jalen, I'm not talking to you because I heard you joined Phoenix Nest, which congrats. I know it's on your own merit, but little sad that you joined Phoenix Nest. I'm just playing. Congrats, dude. That's big for you, and I am very happy for you, honestly. So yeah, this is, remember, my Avengers team from before. This is like sideline pieces, but my main Avengers team, there's too many of those guys. The main Avengers team was this. And you may be thinking, Alex, you're talking about Dr. Thing. Why are you talking about Avengers? And there's a reason for that. Like, I had another epiphany. So I've started trying to take the PJ Bowling mindset of team building. And that's think about team building all the time. I love you too, Jalen. I cannot wait, Jalen, until we get another tournament up in Columbus that I could drive 8 hours to, because you and Zach and your dad and all those people, I love coming up visiting you guys. Love coming up to Columbus, so I cannot wait. I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I hope there's something that happens at Origins or some sort of tournament up there, because the trip is annoying to go up because it's like 8 hours. But I love going there the 2 times that I've been up there. So I hope something happens up there again that gets me up there, because I like Columbus. So the reason we are talking about Avengers now is we're still talking about Dr. Thing, but I had an epiphany. So before we go into, let's see, how do I want to do this? So let's bring Dr. Thing out. And then let's bring our new best friend, which I don't have. Of course I don't have here. So hold on just a second. Let me pull her up. Let's see. Where did she come in? She came in Future Foundation? Yes. I live in Youngstown, Ohio, and you can come visit me if you want to. DBC, what is in Youngstown, Ohio? Like, what fun stuff is there to do? That's what I need to know, because I've got a lot of kids. So if there's something with a lot of kids, then I might be coming up into your neighborhood. I haven't taken them to Columbus, even though there's that big park or something, like amusement park outside of Columbus. I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about Morgan Le Fay. Once again, this is an epiphany. Nothing is in Youngstown. Nice, Jalen. Not a lot. DVZ backed you up. You guys can't see each other because Jalen's on YouTube, DVZ's on Twitch. Which, once again, follow me on Twitch, please. I would very much appreciate it. But yeah, both of you agree there's not much going on in Youngstown. That's pretty funny. So let's look at Morgan Le Fay. Because once again, when I built with Avengers, I've done 2 live streams. Check out my YouTube. I think the name of me on YouTube's here. I've done 2 live streams so far building Avengers team. Because I determined, hey, I've been behind on building with certain teams. Like X-Men, I didn't get on the train with Switch Out for X-Men or Fantastic Four or Hellfire. Like, I just didn't keep up to it and add it to my arsenal. So when Avengers came out, I said, yes, I want to be one of the go-to people for Avengers, because I think that's cool. I think it's a cool team. I think we're going to get a lot of Avengers, which we have. So, yeah. So I haven't looked, like I very briefly looked into Fantastic Four and Avengers Switch Out, like the double Switch Out. But I've mostly been focused on Steve. But I hadn't ever really looked at Morgan Le Fay. So Morgan Le Fay, before anybody asks, Morgan Le Fay does not allow you to switch out Latveria people. So do not think that she gives Latveria Avengers and they could switch out. It doesn't work that way. You think Morgan Le Fay is underrated or simply not worth the points? She is not worth the... no, she's not really worth the points. But that's where I solved the problem. Because guess what she does have? She has Avengers. So she could be switched out, guys. So that means you could play a lovely Avengers team with Doom figures. Or Latveria, so Molecule Man, Doom. There was another one I was thinking about. But you could play a Demon in Armor, has Latveria. You could put that on your Avengers team with Morgan Le Fay. And then just get rid of Morgan Le Fay. You're no longer responsible for her dying very quickly. That's an up for me. So... yeah, if she still did what she did before, old Morgan Le Fay, this Morgan Le Fay, +2 values, an Avengers theme team may include Morgan Le Fay still theme team. Yeah, the +2 perplex. If she still did that, she still wouldn't be worth it at 122. But if she was at 50, yeah. So I'm only looking at her at 50. Let's clear this out. I'm only looking at her at 50. Great, I gotta go find her again. Playing her at 50. Then you gotta play your two Steves. And I built a team with her earlier. Now, I did not have Dr. Thing on it, but I had a Doom on it, so you could switch to Dr. Thing, actually. So the team I had was a 75-point Captain America and a 40-point Captain America. Then you can add Dr. Thing, 75 points. Then you can add Molecule Man, because who doesn't love Molecule Man? Because he has Latveria. Latveria. And then the reason why I don't even care about Switch Out anymore, I don't care about Steve, is because this beautiful woman right here, not Black Widow. Why did I click on Black Widow? Scarlet Witch. 30-point Scarlet Witch. She's a taxi, a TK, and a prob in one for 30 points. Mwah. That's perfect. I love it. Like, she is probably my most excited. Like, I'm so excited for her. Out of all the pieces in this set, for my Avenger team, I'm super excited for Scarlet Witch. 30 points, TK, taxi, and prob. I want to make a pirate team with Blackbeard and 1,000 points. Man, my mind cannot comprehend more than like 500 points. It's just too much for me to take in. If I wanted to take in like that many figures, I'd play like Warhammer or something. So right now, +6. Morgan Le Fay, 2 caps, Dr. Thing, still in there. Now you play any of the Dooms. Molecule Man, Scarlet Witch. So we've got our Taxi, TK, Prob, and Barrier. So these 2 pieces for 60 points give us every support power we could want. Even Outwit. We've got everything. No Perplex. That's the only thing we don't have with them. You could get that if you want to switch to Valeria, but we could get that other ways. If you're a visual person, then our team would be... I don't have a Scarlet Witch yet, I don't think. Let's see, is she out here? Where is she out here? No, but we can use whatever Scarlet Witch I can find. Do I have one? Surely I have one. Yeah, let's use this Legacy looking one. And then, of course, we've got Molecule Man out here. Don't worry, 600 points of his Slattern. Oh, man. Talk about... Now, Pacific Rim Legacy cards would absolutely never happen. But whenever we did... we used to do locally an event called Colossal Fight Night, where we brought... Your figures had to be colossal. Had to be, like you said, 600, 700 points. And it was just kind of like 1 or 2 pieces, and you just slugged it out with the best Colossals in the game. And Slattern was up there as one of the best Colossals in the game. He could hang with the Galacti, the Galactuses, the some of the other big Colossals. What's his name? Spectre. He can hang with all of them. How are we looking over here? High Evolutionary down. Lost a She-Venom and a Black Vulcan. That is not good. Dan's down a decent amount. He cleared 48 minutes. Depending on how soon, they probably got about 10 to 15 minutes. Not much longer. This is getting kind of close. So yeah, this ain't bad. Like, I actually really, really like this. I feel like I've got a lot of my bases covered. And the cool thing is I could switch out 4 of these pieces. I could switch out Scarlet Witch if I want, but I could switch out these 3. So this could buy me 75 points and a 50. So say I could get 100 points and a 25 point. So I could go out here. Ooh, don't go to that game. So let's say I could take out Morgan Le Fay and Steve and bring in a Chase, Widow, and a Daredevil. And then I could take out the Daredevil and Steve and switch in. That would be 65 points. So is there a 45-point Avenger that I would really want to do this? Let's look real quick. Is there a 45-point Avenger? Which I've noticed not all of these pieces are in for War of the Realms yet. No. Recruiter? Wait, could I make that work? Alright, hold your horses, guys. So I did a live stream last time about Recruiter, how it wasn't that great. Could I make Recruiter work with sideline, with switch out pieces? Avengers does not have a lot of great low point figures. That's the only caveat to all this. So looking at this right away, Venom Doctor Strange is probably up there. He's not bad. Is there a 35 point? Or yeah, 35 points. So maybe instead of the 25 and the 40, going to 45 and 20, because 20 is the lowest Avenger that we have, which is Happy Hogan. So instead, if I take it down and do 30 and 35, is there a Avenger at 35 that I'm interested in? Because worst case scenario, I could bump these two down and switch to Wolverine and Songbird. And this is not counting in any... well, that's the thing. I think I can use my switch-in pieces for him, too. So Elo Nosai said, I wouldn't attempt Recruiter with this team. I think sideline slots could be kept for other better things. I think I can still use both. Because I already have a sideline full of Avengers. So maybe. Peter Parker is 35? Yeah, let's see this. Hey, don't be hating on Peter Parker, okay? Don't be hating on Peter Parker. He's okay. Flash isn't bad either. Can't use shape change. Don't mind Mr. Fantastic. I don't mind him. 30-point Wolverine. Legacy Scarlet Witch. Flash Thompson. Not Pepper Potts. Go Sharon Carter. Oh, hold on, my daughter's walking in. Hold on. She wants her moon pie. She likes moon pies. Peter Parker. Prop. That's not bad. But you got Songbird. Songbird's probably who I'm going with because she's already on the sideline. None of these pieces. I've already got Scarlet Witch. So, I mean, I could play a lower point and not main force Scarlet Witch. And just switch her in. That's a possibility. Now, this switch in, the switch in that I have here, obviously doesn't have any Steves or any of that. Oh, she's back. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. So this is a build I'm trying to... I'm trying to future-proof myself in the event that, like... I want to try to rely less on Steve Rogers. Because that Steve Rogers math, man, gets really, really convoluted trying to figure all that out. Because as much as I love Venom Magneto, I do love him. And I love Prime Marvel. They both were amazing for me in the Coffee and Clicks tournament. I loved them. So in this setup, I think, honestly, I would probably just switch these two out and give me 30-point Wolverine and 30-point Songbird. And then this be my team. And remember, I could always switch Doom out for Doom if I really want to as well. Now, I would need to have an option for switching to Shifty Widow, which I think the math might be there. I could get the math to work to get her and Shifting Widow, but then I'd be down to like Happy Hogan and Daredevil and not a lot. It would be really, really close. Really, really close. I'm not going to do the math now just because it takes me a minute to do the math. Like, I have spreadsheets upon spreadsheets that list out how to build this stupid Avengers team. But I love data analytics, so it's fine. Pop in over to the game real quick. He lost to Shi'ar. This is not looking hot. Has Dan's rolls been bad? 3, 8, 7, 5. Nate crit missed. Dan was a 5. 9, 6, 7, 6. Those aren't bad rolls. Those are pretty average. He crit missed at one point. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is getting close to time. 8:55. It's very, very close. Right now, Nate's taking this one, which is shocking to me. Not to say Nate's not a bad player. Nate has not been putting on rally dice. Oh, who does he have that has rally? Oh, Mr. Fantastic? Yeah, you're right. Mr. Fantastic would be big in this. Giving Emperor Gladiator immobile would be big. Anyway. So this was my current thought. Thinking about... Could Latveria, bringing in Latveria, could that add a little bit more oomph to my Avengers team? Because to sum up my Coffee and Clicks adventure, which I don't know if we talked about on the podcast yet, I ended up going 1-2 in the Coffee and Clicks tournament in pod play. I beat a Legacy Thanos. I lost to Lewis Ray's defense-built team. I'll say that was mostly dice that did me in on that game. He hit like a lot of Super Sense rolls on Faust. I made a couple bad plays, not detrimental plays, but man, my dice and his dice were hot, my dice were not for that one. So that one could have gone my way. And then my game against Paul, I did the best that I could with that. His monster team was pretty boss, pretty rough, and I knew it was probably my worst matchup. So I had hoped to go 2-1 and still make it. So that loss to Lewis was rough. That meant I had to win my game against Paul, and I had a great opener. Brian Marvell is not to be messed with, but he just had too much firepower on that team, and I just misplayed a little bit as well. But once again, going into the Coffee and Clicks tournament, I was not planning on playing Avengers. I was planning on playing Gladiator, Gladi-Daddy, or something like that. But at the last minute, like a week before, I decided, you know what? I want to risk it. I want to take this Avengers team, and I just want to try it. Because I think Avengers is underrated. I know Joseph has been building with it too. I think Kenny Minks played it too, or a version of it too. I think I was the only one with double Steve Rogers, though. But I spent so much time on it, and I really liked streaming about it. So that's why I'm going back, because I'm not done with the team. War of the Realms, like I said, brings in a lot. 003, Scarlet Witch brings a lot to the table. Let's look at some of the other Avengers that bring to this. And I think Dr. Thing, once again, Dr. Thing is perfectly viable for this. So if I didn't want to face a Destroyer, if I didn't want to face Jubilee or something, I don't know if I would keep Dr. Thing on the team. I probably would just switch him out. To be perfectly honest, I'd probably just switch him out. Unless it was just something crazy. Like Jubilee, I feel like Chase Widow can handle Jubilee, so I'm not sure. But I think if I was playing Dr. Thing, on a Latveria team, he would be perfectly fine with the Lat Avengers team. Latveriangers. Nah. Not gonna try that. So, to answer before we start talking about Nate just won. Yep. Well, congrats to Nate. I love Nate. Nate is always fun to play against. Always a good time playing against Nate. I wish I saw him more often. Him being from Chicago. I did see him when I went up to Chicago. Listen, anytime you're in Chicago and you wanna play some clicks, get in touch with Nate or Ken Small. I did a business trip up to Chicago. This is before the pandemic, right before the pandemic. And I had a business trip up there, flew in, and I reached out to Nate White, and I was like, hey, buddy. It's like, listen, I'm in town for a week for a business trip, or like 4 days. I was like, you guys got any clicks going? And they were having a little local event, and he hooked me up. He said, listen, you'll just want to take these trains to here, get here. And I showed up, and they hooked me up with a team. I was like, here's why I want to play. Ken brought some extra pieces, and they got me hooked up, and I played in a little small tournament there on a business trip. It was great. That's what I love about this community, is that you can talk to people in the community and say, hey, listen, I'm coming to Columbus, I'm coming to Chicago, I'm coming to Orlando, wherever, and just see, hey, is there anything locally? And I know COVID's kind of put a downer on that recently, but it's one of the best things about the community is that you meet people from all over the country, and you develop bonds with them through this crazy miniature game, and you're able to just go play with people. That's what I love. And it looks like here they're getting set up for, speaking of someone from Chicago, Patrick Frazier, the guy who beat me in the Clickstuff Classic with a crazy monster team. Right now, I think I get PTSD from monster teams. So maybe that's what happened against my Paul Cote matchup. So I wanted to also look at Avengers and just take a look at some of these pieces I'm looking at for my Avengers team from War of the Rounds. Now, once again, we're doing our set review tonight. It's not going to be streamed because we do edit those episodes in case someone has technical difficulties, so we don't live stream those. But I want to look at Avengers in this set and just kind of go over the ones I'm looking at maybe adding to my sideline. And if any of them just make the team. Because there's a lot. Like, look at this. A lot of Avengers. Almost as much as Captain America and the Avengers. So there's got to be some good pieces in here, right? So not messing with shifting focus at all. Too many shifting focus ruined the pot. I don't know if that's the phrase. Most of these are underwhelming. Scarlet Witch is the first one that I was like, yeah. As soon as I saw Scott Porter preview Scarlet Witch, I was like, yeah, instantly on the team. That's what Avengers needed. Thank you, WizKids, for realizing that's exactly what Avengers needed. No Black Panther, no Spider-Man, no Hulk. Like, none of these are great. Now, this Black Widow giving stealth to everyone. That's a maybe. That might be a post-rotation if we lose a lot of... Like, if they get rid of the Black Widow set, I would consider this, to be honest. Giving my whole team stealth and then playing on Latveria with Molecule Man, that's not bad. So I would keep her in mind. Not bad as a common. Hawkeye, no. Blade, no. Hercules. Glad to see Hercules. I think this is the first Hercules we've gotten in a while, right? Since Civil War? No. Mighty Thor. And even that one wasn't good. Oh, Civil War did have Hercules. I forgot Mighty Thor came after that. I have a sweet... I will say this. I have a soft spot in my heart for Hercules. Purely because my first game ever at a HeroClix event locally was during Age of Ultron, month 2. And so it was sealed, and so I pulled Hercules. and I played Hercules. So he was like my first figure to play in the game. So Hercules at 220 will always have a soft spot for me because I just always loved him because he's your first figure. You don't forget your first match, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird for me to say. But I'm glad to see Hercules back. Missed him. Unfortunately, this one is just not good enough to play because there's no Invincible. He's got Guardian, so that's not bad. Lady Sif, no. Thor. 125 is too pricey for that. Now, we kind of alluded to this, and this is something I'm going to have to do some additional research on. But Captain America Recruiter. And actually, I'll send a message out now and ping a few people I know. Let me see. Can I use my Avenger switch out pieces for Captain America Recruiter? Let's see if I can. If I can, if you could use that, then he might be worth it. Probably not. Like, his dial is pretty bad. But maybe? Because everyone's raving about the Doctor Strange one because you could bring in a bunch of Wendigos, and we're going to talk about this on the podcast. I feel like you can. Lord Arceus, you say no. I feel like you can because they're still on your sideline. Probably not. You probably can't use them for the same reason. But maybe? Now, I'm not going to wait for an answer. The answer might take a bit. But if you can, then I think he may make the sideline. I'd have to test it. It may be the second best way to play Recruiter. Because I know people have talked about Recruiter. Pretty sure sidelines can only be assigned to one thing. Well, like, I don't know if that's... They have to be on your sideline for a reason. I don't know if that's 100% true anymore. It used to be true. I don't know if it's true anymore. And if it is true, then that's fine. Then this piece isn't that good. Because there's not a lot of great low-point Avengers that you want to just bring in to bop people. 30-point Wolverine would be one of those exceptions. Which I already have on my build. So, yeah. So, Captain America right now is a maybe. If that works. Vision, shifting focus, out. Nova, good to see Nova back. Hate to see him like this. 70 points. Nah. Shang-Chi. Pretty cool, but no. Shifty focus, so no. Moon Knight, no. Black Knight, no. Captain Marvel, no. Different recruiter. Wasp, more expensive recruiter, so no. I'd rather pay 45 than 60. Even though she does do some other things, but no, probably not. All right, so this is probably the first bigger piece that I might actually consider. I would really, really have to test it. And that's Rare Thor at 100 points. Free if Thor hasn't moved or placed his turn, and if no opposing character is adjacent, generate a Mjolnir marker. Roll 2d6, so she's just like Darkseid. Create a Mjolnir marker, it goes through. You're going to attack people. Though she can't have moved or be placed. Like, she's very similar to Darkseid. 4 damage, 11. You know, that's something. So I'm not exactly against it. I'm not really for it. It's something I'm going to have to test, to be honest. More shifting focus, no. Doctor Strange, no. He's good for the recruiter, but for Mystics, I don't have any other Mystics on the team. Crusader. Love the dial. Like the length of the dial for 125. But that's just a little. 125 is a little too much, I think. Just a little too much. Iron Allfather is one I'm really going to have to consider. Not at 300, obviously. 125. Choose a character on your sideline with the Asgardian keyword. I don't know how many of those I'll have. But if I'm choosing Thor, then maybe one or two. And choose a standard attack or defense power printed on the card. He can use the chosen power until your next turn. It's not an action. That has to be a misprint, right? That has to be like a free action. He's on my radar, but probably not with that short dial. This other Thor, big, beefy, hypersonic, invincible Thor, kind of dig that. But unfortunately, he doesn't have that on the other click. So no. Now, here's where the others come in. Black Widow, 100% is on the sideline. And this is where it gets tricky, because I can't have my whole sideline can't be Black Widow, right? Because then I don't have anyone to bring in. Because you can't do the same name, right? You can't have... They all have to be different names when you're doing your switch outs. That's why you can't just switch out two Captain Americas at once. So... But I really like her. She's probably one of my bigger wants from this set. Now, I'm probably not playing her at 75, probably at 50. Here, hold on. My daughter's coming. My daughter's the big artist, so she drew me a bunch of squiggly lines, but she's 3. She really likes drawing, and she's getting a lot better at it, so I'm trying to make sure I enforce that, because she's by far very talented for a 3-year-old for drawing. I know that was a bunch of squiggly lines. Sometimes she gets a little lazy, but it always nice when a dad gets a sensitive, heart-touching thing. Anyway, Black Widow at 50. I like it a lot. These lurker bystanders are legit, if you haven't seen them. They're the flurry, 10 for 3. If an opposing character has been KO'd since your last turn, modify attack +2. That's pretty good. 12 for 3 twice. They have mystics. Well, that's real good. And you could get her to have it at the beginning of your turn, roll d6, give her a number of summon tokens. So turn 1, you could get maybe 6 tokens. And it's a free action, so you could carry them across the map and drop some lurkers. Or a lurker, I guess. Roll again, try to get that lurker dead, and then someone else. That's good. She also doesn't do bad damage. 8 for 50 points. Energy explosion, pen side, 10 for 3. 3 target energy explosion. She's probably my biggest... I mean, I don't want to divulge too much into... the set review, but I really, really like Black Widow. The other one is Spider-Man. I don't know how I feel about Spider-Man. He's like a probbing machine, right? Like, he's super annoying to go against. Super senses when he uses it, increase the roll +1 for each time the attack was re-rolled. He's got prob. Everyone adjacent friendly characters and him have safeguard opposing prob. And when making an attack roll, Spider-Man may roll 3 dice instead of 2, and then after any rerolls, choose 1 die to ignore. And then when he's attacked, you may choose opposing character, roll 3 dice. So I feel like he has to go on the team. Like, I feel like it just has to. On the sideline. As an option. Now, this is missing some pieces. Let's go to the forums for that. Because there are some other chases with Avengers that I want to talk about. Yep. Alright. Not Human Torch. We already talked about Black Widow. Where are you? Spider-Man. She-Hulk. Let's talk about She-Hulk. So at first you're looking at this dial and saying it's a charge piece, 12 for 4, so 13 for 5 because of close combat expert, 19 impervious for 100. That isn't great because everyone and their mama has Pensai. So that's not great. So I'm not looking really at her at 100. I'm looking at her at 50. Because she does have free. Choose one. TK is free, but only to target an adjacent friendly character. Love me some free TK. Or generate a heavy object. This turn when she uses an object action, increase the damage dealt by 1. Okay. Or she heals 2 clicks. Like the heal 2 clicks, if I'm playing her at 50, she's just going to die anyway. So if she's using an object action. So if she's using a close, like range object action, she's dealing 3 damage. If she's doing a close, that's +2, +3. She's doing 6 damage? If she's got a heavy? Am I reading that right? So if somehow she got in position to attack, she has a heavy object. So first turn she generates a heavy object or whatever. And then the next turn she uses this turn to use an object action. It increases damage up by 1. She gets the +1 from close combat expert, another +1 from using an object, and then another 1 for using this object thing. That's 6 damage. I don't really think She-Hulk at 50 points is worth it. She's probably worth it for the free TK. That's basically it. Free TK for an adjacent piece isn't bad. And then she's a heavy hitter. I don't hate that. Not saying I love it. I'm saying I don't hate it. Like, I might put her on my sideline as some sort of package in the event I don't want to try Venom Magneto. Damage output is really high, but requires quite a bit of setup. Sure. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not super in love with her, but I think she's due consideration. She should have some sort of consideration in all this. Just my opinion. Iron Man is another one that I feel like, unfortunately, he has to make the sideline. And I hate that. I hate it. It really depends on how the meta shakes out. Oh, did they do the chases twice? Oh, that's funny. Like, this Iron Man is not a chase level. I don't feel like it. But this trait, it really depends. Really, really depends. At least in my opinion. And the reason being is because, you know, as I called her, Lassophobia teams, the Shifty Focus Widow team, Shifty Focus Wonder Woman teams, used to be a thing where you just lasso everybody up. There's also the teams with, who is it? It's not Hela. Who's the other mission point person? There's like 3 of them in this. So that's Hela. It's not Hela. Shoot. Who's the other mission point person that was kind of interesting? Not Prime Wrecker. Don't get me started on that. Guys, help me out. There's another one that has to deal with action tokens. Like giving people action tokens. It's not Wrecker, because Wrecker you just go through walls and you score points, right? Or am I thinking of Wrecker wrong? Yeah, you destroy a wall and you get a thing. Malekith? Was it Malekith? Really? Oh, you're right. It is Malekith. Where are you, Malekith? Yeah, when a friendly character uses Ink Cap, after resolution, gain 1 mission point for each hit character that was given a second action token. Yeah, Malekith. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Refocus Podcast. And Eel No Side. Yes, thank you. Malekith. There exists in the realm of possibility of a Malekith mission point team. As crazy as that might sound. We got 3 fairly strong mission point pieces. Now, none of the three work together well. But that doesn't mean Malekith couldn't be something. Especially with our new best friend. He's not going to be out here. I got to go to the bottom. Our new best friend. What? Why is he not out here? Hold on. New best friend. Come on. Sorry if I'm making anybody sick. I'm trying to find these stupid legacy cards. This is like the worst build up. Okay, is he just out here? No, he's not out here. I was going to say Ymir. Wherever Ymir went. Even this says, where's Ymir? Wherever Ymir went. That's who I'm trying to reference. Yeah, I bet you he's over in Clicks Nexus. Let's go to Clicks Nexus. Yeah, here he is. If no friendly character has been placed this turn, choose an opposing character to attack Ymir or damage a friendly character since your last turn. Place that he can make a close attack target chosen character, then do so. Hit character modifies its combat values for each action token on until his next turn. Like, that's legit. Like, so you token everybody and -2 to combat values? Like, that's not bad. Surtur just gets through things. The Chariot does stuff with action tokens. Gigantic gives action tokens. Prime Marvel gives action tokens. There's a lot of giving action tokens lately. And so I feel like with Malekith, now I know Malekith requires you to use in-cap, but you could give anybody the lasso, and anybody can use free in-cap. So I feel like that's not bad. So I feel like if someone was feeling ambitious, let me get back to him. If anyone was feeling ambitious and really wanted to make a Malekith team, I think it would do okay. And so that's why I feel like I need to be mindful of Iron Man. Because remember, Iron Man, his main thing is that anybody adjacent can't be given action token by opposing effects. All his other stuff's nice, I guess. I mean, it's not amazing. It's just that one trait I might consider. And it's kind of like how I consider it with the Dooms and everything. It really, really depends on whether or not those type of teams become a thing. And whether they're like really, really popular. All right, I did get confirmation. Recruiter doesn't work like I said it did for those, which is fine. So whoever said it, I forget who it was. Lord Arceus, you're correct. It doesn't. I was hopeful. Usually if it's something that seems too good to be true, it doesn't. And I wish it did, because that would have actually made Avengers Captain America playable, but now he's not. But I will let you know if that changes. So how are you guys feeling about Avengers right now? Avengers switch out. I think they have gotten stronger from War of the Realms by far. Scarlet Witch is the biggest one. Black Widow helps a lot. Some of these other pieces are just other pieces. You know? Now, some of them are good, some of them are bad. Avengers will always be strong. Hopefully. I am concerned, in general, about rotation. So I have the theory going out there with rotation, because this is where we're at with rotation. These are all our sets. Now we're behind on rotation, right? Because they gave us some slack with COVID. But right now, we really should have all these sets gone, and we should be looking at Trek as our newest one. And then Trek should technically be going all the way through Cosmic Clash, right? They go from like through July. So right now, the realm of possibility is this. There is no way Dark Phoenix stays. There's no way WWE stays, Orville stays. All those are gone. I hold out hope Captain America is the earliest one, because I kind of hold out hope that they just start going by the year and just say everything 2020 is legal going forward. And then the next year, anything 2021 is the newest set. I hope that's what it is. But if they get back on track and they get back to what it was, then Captain America's gone, JLU's gone, Black Widow's gone, Fantastic Four's gone, the Cosmic Clash is gone, but the Fantastic Four set is still there. So I think there's two chances. Two ways it could go. Either they'll be cool and say 2020 is it. We're starting it new. We're keeping the LEs and the sets in the same spectrum. Or they catch us back up, which means we lose a lot of objects. We've got a ton of objects out there. We lose a ton of objects, period. But it's the question of, does Avengers lose a lot of what made them strong? I hope they don't go back to older rotation. It's been a difficult 2 years to get in-store games. Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, they haven't had a big tournament outside of the online championships we had in 2020 and the Scott Porter event in 2021. Those are the only really big events that WizKids was somewhat involved with, sponsored. So I hope they don't. But if this year they're getting back on track, and like if they're going to have Worlds regardless of COVID, if they're like, COVID's just never going to go away, and they're like, now's the year to get back at it, and they're going to have Worlds, and they're going to have Nationals and all that stuff, then now's the year to say, July, hey, we're back. Get back on track. And that means Fantastic Four would be the oldest set. So we're looking at this kind of meta going forward. So that means no more trouble alerts. None of that. Troublemakers, which I'm kind of for. I never really was good at remembering Black Vulcans and Brainiacs. Some people build their teams to specifically use them. I don't. Because I forget them. Because I have, attention issues, so I forget certain things like that. So I'm fine with seeing them go. I'm just sad to see all the Avengers go. Is Avengers going to be good if those figures go? Not a fan of free advantage. Yeah, I get that. I think it was a cool thing to start with, but now it's just becoming kind of crazy, where you get 3 hits in and you're able to drop someone who could still just mess up your team. But I will say, if they do go that far, which I'm still hoping they don't. Once again, they could go either way. That would really have to make me rethink Avengers and how Avengers will be going forward. Because losing the Captain America set and the Black Widow set means you lose the 2 big pieces that the Avengers need. Now, the benefit is, I think that's when we lose a lot of the pure Avengers teams, unless we get something in Disney Plus. We could. Oh, and my daughter's coming back in. Hold on. So we got Disney Plus. We've got X of Swords, which is X-Men based, but there's got to be Wolverines with swords with X-Men on them. With Avengers on them. So who knows? There's still going to be some pieces out there. This Wolverine is still one of my favorite Avengers pieces. This Morgan Le Fay thing, because Morgan is from Fantastic Four, and there's no way they're rotating Fantastic Four. It's July. If they did that, they're way going off their previous metric. So she would still survive. No, she wasn't even from that. She was from Future Foundation. I'm tripping. Yeah, she's from Future Foundation. So she was super fine. So that could survive, but Fantastic Four surviving means you got Fantastic Four switch out. Well, there's plenty of Fantastic Four pieces. So I think Avengers is fine. It's going to suck if we lose those pieces. But ultimately, it's fine too. Hey, let's take a sneak in and look at the Jackson Smith versus Patrick Frazier team. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. So Jackson has lost Prime Marvel, which isn't good, 50. But he's lost a Moloid. Patrick's lost Moloid, Commissioner, and Venom Magneto. Huh. So Jackson's currently up. Moloid's worth what, 10 points? Or 15? Because Alchemical Fire is like 10. So they're either tied or Jackson's up 5 points. But there's still Sky Tyrant, there's still Jubilee, there's still Dark Phoenix, there's still Prime Storm. Like, I hate this monster team so much. I can't wait for rotation. Oh, those things are spooky, and I don't know why more people play it. Eel No Side, I wonder if if Disney Plus will have legacy cards for the older movie sets. I wish that they do. Like, that would be cool. Give us some old movie set pieces, bring them back. That makes sense to me. It also makes sense that they wouldn't have any. They are 10. Okay, so the game's tied right now. No, it's not. Magneto's... So, Jackson's up by 10 points. Because this is 60... Wait, no. 60. Yeah, he's up by 10. Patrick's missing, though. But he's got Dark Phoenix. That's spooky. I don't feel good about this right now. Jackson's in a bad place. This is a bad matchup for him because he's got so many pieces out there. And not having Alchemical Fire. Like, Prime Marvel is the monster killer. But I'm not sure. Cube Loki Legacy card, please. Oh, that would be good, says Lord Archaeos. Sorry, I keep butchering your name. Jalen, give me the old Avengers movie Hulk. Oh yeah, yeah. The big beef boy. Let's see. Is it from? It's not from. It's from the movie. What am I doing? Here he is. Let's see. Does he hold up today? Could you play this today? All right. When Hulk hits one or more characters with an attack and actions resolve, the opposing character chooses deal one target unavoidable damage and give it an action token or put an anger token on this card. Hulk can use Colossal Stamina. Okay. When he has two action tokens and given a non-free action, you may remove any number of anger tokens from this card and roll d6 that can't be rerolled, increasing the result +1. On a 5 or 6, he isn't dealt unavoidable damage from Colossal Stamina. Okay. He has Battle Fury. Each time he takes damage from an opposing attack, give him an anger token. Okay. When this click is revealed due to taking damage, stop turning the dial. Remove all the action tokens from Hulk. Okay. Hulk can use Invincible and Regen. When he uses Regen, you may remove anger tokens. Okay. But he's just a charge piece, guys. He can still be... That's tough. Is he playable today at 300? What do you guys think? This Hulk. Movie Hulk. This Hulk is 7 years old. Almost 7 years ago. This Hulk was out and menacing the world. Say they lower his points. 250? 200? 200, nah. Not playing at Doom. 200. God Doom's better. That's the problem, Lord Arcus, is no one is playing God Doom. Jalen Major, and you can have extra pieces. I mean, yeah, that's true. Problem is Hulk doesn't really make sense to like the Disney Plus. Because the only time Hulk is relevant in Disney Plus is that one what if scenario. Right? Like there's that one what if episode where like Widow has to kill everybody or something. I don't even remember that episode because it wasn't that good. Like if you gave Disney Plus to like, I'm trying to think in Disney Plus, what are some old movie pieces that would be relevant to Disney Plus? Not just regular movie figures. Like we got Thor Loki. I would love to see a shoot, where is it? It's not that old. Not Avengers. I would like to see one of these. Captain America, Black Widow, Captain America, and Bucky. I used to love this duo figure. Secret Invasion Strange, that'd be good too. Yeah. No, they'd give us someone like Batrock, like movie Batrock, because he does show back up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So they'd give us this Batrock. Oh, I can see them doing that. Yeah, because we didn't get, like, after Age of Ultron, we didn't get any more movie sets relating to Disney Plus. Like, that could be related to Disney Plus. I Am 3 Mandarin. Let me look him up real quick. I like going the slow way. Wait, no, this wasn't the Iron Man 3. Where's Iron Man 3? Is this it? No, that's Iron Maiden. Ha! Just kidding. Fine, I'll type in Mandarin. There it is. Okay. Old Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay. No, don't look him up. I was kidding. Too late. I've already done it. It's done. It's out there. Agents, where is the Nick Fury set? You know, I would love to do a live stream to just talk about when. I need to look up when the anniversary, like the official anniversary of HeroClix is, because we're on the 25th or the 20th. We're on the 20th, right? Because What If was the 15th anniversary. So this year's the 20th anniversary of HeroClix. So I wish I could figure out what the exact date is, because I would love to do a live stream where we just talk about the history of HeroClix. Maybe do like, if I had all the time in the world, like I just made enough money to where I could just talk about HeroClix all the time. Like I would love to do like a documentary Ken Burns type video where we just go through the history of HeroClix and show like past winners, pieces that were like big to do, how the power creep, different eras, because I've talked about different eras in my opinion, the different eras of the game, especially when I was involved, that have ebbed and flowed, where the meta was back and forth. And that's just me being a big nerd and thinking that would be cool to just remember all these old times. May 2002, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I got to figure out the month. It's probably on Wikipedia somewhere. I mean, I could also just do this and just Infinity Challenge and see May 1st. So I could have just done that and just scrolled to the right. And that's the first set that came out. So maybe May 1st. Notable pieces, mechanic changes. Yeah, I mean, there's so much of the history that would just be cool. And now some of this way older stuff, I'm going to have to get some help on. Because, like, I was not playing with, like, Mutant Mayhem. Or, like, any City of Heroes or any of this stuff. I was not playing at that point. Like I said, I came in at Age of Ultron. But remember, all these sets were legal then. Like, Slosh was legal. Invincible Iron Man was legal at the time because I remember playing Ironmonger. Yeah, Ironmonger 2.0. Playing that with a POG team. I remember playing that. So, I mean, I remember some of these older pieces, but not much further past that. But I think it'd be cool to have some sort of info on that. I mean, this game's 20 years old. There's got to be some good history. There's got to be, like, some good stuff. Now, I know they had the break in there where they just didn't do anything when the stuff changed, right? Wasn't that a thing? When the game, like, died and then came back? Once again, I don't know the full history. But that could be fun. Let me, where's a pen? If I don't write this down, I'm never going to remember. I've got a pen somewhere. I'll write it down. I'll write down. This might be a cool idea. 1 year hiatus from AA to Hammer of Thor. Where's AA? Ah, yeah, here it is. Slightly less than a year. But we've got people that have on Click Stuff who's played for almost way too long, it feels like. So, I mean, I think we could pull out that info. I think I could start making something and create a video. I think that'd be fun. Now, I don't want to say I'm going to do it because that's a big time commitment to come up with something like that. But for the 20th, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that could be fun. Any other suggestions for, like, a history video that you would want to see as a 20th anniversary? I mean, honestly, this is something WizKids should be making, but I will advocate all the time that they need to open up a social manager position, like a community manager position, and then I would gladly apply for it because I think there's a lot more that they could be doing to make this game even bigger. Communication wise, not that they're doing a bad job, it's just the job could always be done better and bigger. Because I think one thing that's lacking is the open communication with the community. There is some communication with the community and there's some back and forth with certain individuals or whatever. But most of the information, like anything with sets, anything to do with sets is sets. Let me clarify that. Like new sets is communicated between WizKids and the stores. And we get it through the solicits. Which I don't believe is the right thing to do. I don't think that, like, that's not how it should be done at all. Because I know from my experience, my store comes to me to find out what's good with the HeroClix. They don't keep up with HeroClix. I go to them and say, hey, you need to, like, this set's going to be big. You need to buy a couple extra bricks. Or, hey, can you make sure we get this? Because they're all about Magic. They're all about board games, Dungeons and Dragons. So, I mean, if you did, like, a announcement, like, I feel like it's just their pages for the sets come out just a little too late. We get the solicits first, and then later we get the rest of the stuff. I feel like they did this at Worlds, and then we had COVID, so I understand. But I feel like this is something they should be actively doing, especially now that everyone's virtual. They just need to take this virtual. That's all. Just need to take it virtual. What do you guys think? And all of you that's been sticking around, I really appreciate you guys being here. Once again, like the YouTube page if you haven't already. Go over, Kuzinator at Twitch. I would appreciate it. Trying to get partner or something over there. They need to do a weekly update or article on their site. Yeah, they need to post a lot more stuff. You know, they're talking about trying to promote the game more. Trying to make it, the whole rules change and the benching of powers was to make the game more open and friendly to new players. But new players they're still expecting it through the stores, and the stores are falling apart when it comes to HeroClix, I feel like. There hasn't been any tournaments. Someone cannot walk into a store and say, yeah, I want to play HeroClix, or what's this game? Because they're just not actively playing anymore. Communities are falling apart. Now, HeroClix has still been selling like hotcakes because the sets are awesome. People have been playing at home. You still got collectors. You still got us, the competitive folks. But even War of the Realms, much less unboxing previews. Have you noticed that? Usually with sets, there's like 3 or 4 publications that would post something and say, oh, here's this new set, and they would show like an unboxing. But this time, we got a brick. Scott Porter got his stuff. It's always Scott Porter, which is great. He is the ambassador. But Clickstuff got a brick, and then 1 or 2 other little places got one, publications of some sort, and then everyone got their pre-release stuff. I play Magic as well and wish Clicks had half the stuff they do. There's 2 things I am working on in the background. I am someone who has a lot of ambitious ideas, and then they don't come to fruition because I underestimate how much time I actually have. But I have 2 behind-the-scenes projects that I'm slowly working towards that I think will make HeroClix a lot better. But it's behind the scenes. Eel No Side. The new rules and benching, in my opinion, was great. It was much easier for me when I demoed the game, though the benching of power should have just remained in the starter sets or fast forces. I agree to a degree. I feel like Sealed Wonder Woman, that was the first set we got all the bench powers, was probably one of the best sealed sets I ever played in. Superman common Superman threw things off a little bit, but I feel like it was so balanced from a sealed perspective, because you had super senses, but you didn't also have shape change. You didn't have any invincible, so that means your lower point figures with Pen Psi could actually do something, and they were actually important. Your charge pieces felt great. Now, there was that period where charge, you could break away, and if you failed, it still attack. I still wish they fixed that. I still wish that could be a thing where you could try to break away with charge, and if you fail, it still make an attack. For that week that we played it like that, felt great. It made charge feel good. But there's a lot of little things I would change to this game, and I'm not sure it would be for the better. Don't get me started on what I feel like could change. But as we saw with Thor in the War of the Realms, we're starting to see those powers come back finally. It takes a year. This just shows how far in advance they plan sets. We are finally getting shape change back. We just saw hypersonic back with Thor and Invincible. And he's the only one that has it too. It's kind of weird. So, so yeah, to wrap up kind of this session, let's check in with the Coffee and Clicks things real quick. Oh, Thanos is dead. Thanos is dead. Yep, kind of knew that was going to happen. So I think that's the last Thanos in the tournament. So Patrick Frazier moves on. We got 2 Clicks Mafia people in the top 4. That's pretty spectacular. Congrats to them. Anyway, so to sum up this session, Thanos is dead, crab rave. Thanos is always going to be a thing. You got to worry about Thanos going forward. Don't underestimate Thanos, ever. The Thanos with a Doom, I think, is probably the best version. So what have we learned tonight? Hopefully you learned something. This doesn't look like TFT. Jalen, I have not played 6.5 yet. My oldest son is 10, and he has an old iPhone. And even his old iPhone will play TFT. So he's begging me like every day to play ranked with him. So I've been playing so much TFT ranked. So I haven't even dipped into PBE. But it's so much fun to just play with somebody. So I'm taking taking the blessing that I have, because I didn't get to play. My dad isn't a big gamer in that way, so I always play games by myself. So I'm trying to make sure when my kids are playing games that I play games with them, because I think it's just a neat way to be a part of their lives like that. So, but is Dr. Thing, is it a meta? I think 100% he is. I took a picture of my ruler team. I think I'm going to try it in a tournament. I actually really like it. And I think I could squeeze him into Avengers if I want. So out of this, man, I'm feeling good about 2 different teams. This was a good session, whereas last time we talked about Loki and Thor, which wasn't good, isn't meta. And then we talked about Recruiter, which Doctor Strange is the closest thing to a Recruiter. We'll talk about it a little bit on the podcast. But he's really the only shot, and it's a limited shot. But if you want to catch those videos, that video where I talked about Recruiter is on the Clickstuff YouTube. Please like our YouTube page. Click the bell for notifications so you can see when I go live again, because I'm trying to do this at least once a week. But that video should be on there where I talk about Recruiter and try to break down some teams for recruiters, and there is not much out there. Also, go to my Kuzinator Twitch page. I would very much appreciate it. Trying to get to partner or affiliate or whatever it is with that, and I need 50 likes, which I think I have that on Facebook. So I think with over 1,000 or something people, if we can get a lot of people over there to like it, because I go over there when I can, that would greatly be appreciated. You don't think Thor, Loki, or meta? No. I tried it. There's a little bit of teams out there that could work. He's just too ding-dang expensive, man. 250 points. Too expensive. That's too expensive. That's my Beauty and the Beast impression. Yeah, he's just too expensive. He's fun for if you're going to play like a win a map or a broadcast event. You might could shock some people. But other than that, like you play him, Venom, Magneto, 2 objects, you're kind of done. That's it. That's all you got. So, I mean, let's see. So no, you can watch a video. I go into much deeper dive. It is on our YouTube page. Anytime I stream on YouTube, these videos do go to the YouTube page. I also put them on my own personal YouTube at times too. And I do occasional videos. I just like to plug my own self every once in a while, but I also plug our main YouTube page. Loki, Thor, and Prime Marvel. I mean, that's fine, but you need a TK to get Thor and Loki out there. That's the problem. Otherwise, they're just going to get hit, and then they get way worse. I know you got Prime Marvel, but both of those pieces need a TK. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right, so any other questions for me? I'm going to wrap this up. We're getting close to 2.5 hours. Much longer than I thought, but I was having a blast. You guys are awesome. I love talking to you guys. So any last questions before I split? Also, if you have any questions for us and the guys, we are recording, hopefully, our set review tonight. So take a look at that page on our Clickstop Facebook. There should be a question link soon, and that you can post your questions on there. But with that, guys look like they might be getting ready to... 10 minutes we're going to record, so countdown for like last 3 minutes. Any questions? Once again, please like my Twitch. I don't like begging, but I like people going out there. I like talking to you guys. I was very surprised by Dr. Thing. This Dr. Thing ruler team, I actually legit. Thank you for hosting the stream. I actually think HeroClix needs way more streams. I think live streaming HeroClix and just generally talking team builds, practice sessions, like that's entertaining. Getting the feedback, talking back and forth, that's so entertaining to me. Just having these interactions, because that's what isn't that what we all love, is like when we're in person talking to people playing games? Like, we love the game, but we also love the community. So that's why I really like these live streams. I'm trying to make them a frequent thing, because I feel like there's just not many out there right now that are consistent, that aren't just like gameplay. And I think we need to get back to live stream of games where there's commentary. I think for certain games or certain level of tournaments, I think that needs to be a thing again. I used to love years ago when the Married with Clicks used to do it, or a few other groups would also just be kind of announcers doing games for Worlds or Nationals. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the VODs. Those should be available. Like both pages, the Kuznator Twitch, the Clickstop YouTube. Leave your questions for our set review on our Facebook page, because we are doing that in a couple minutes. So that's about to be closed, if they aren't already. And I will see you guys hopefully next week. Been learning a lot from the podcast. My community is small, so we only have 3 or 4 players that are competitive. No side. Definitely check out online tournaments. I'm trying to help those get ramped back up again. So we can have some of those going and bigger tournaments in person as well. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next stream. See ya.